I can tell the difference in the tone between the two choices that you make, that you have available to you. And your level of enthusiasm, which is really the God within, isn't it? Enthusiasm, the God within. Your level of enthusiasm for doing something different, for trying, taking on this new challenge, for having them pursuing you rather intently, as you said. The excitement in your voice would go way up when you would mention that. And then when you would say, but I still have the opportunity, I mean, I can still stay where I am and things are going to work out there, your energy level would go down. It was like, and I've always found in my own life, okay, I'm 69 years old here, and, every single time, that I had to make choices like you're making right now, the weighing of this or that, I always found that there was something about the mystery. There's something about the excitement of not knowing exactly what it is, but moving in a new place and trying out new things. And I think it's part of our dharma, Jason. I think it's part of what's built into us. This whole idea that you have to get into a career, you get into one job, you stay in that job forever. We have a lot of memes in our culture which encourage people to to stay the same, in other words, get into a particular company, stay with the company for 40 years, retire, get your gold watch, get your benefits, and there's all of these things that, that are sent our way, these encourages to stay where we are. And then there's the part of us that really likes the mystery, wants to wander into new territory. It's like the two paths crossed in the woods, and I took the one least traveled by. And that has made all the difference. That's Robert Frost. That has made all the difference. I would say take the path least traveled by. If you're asking me, based on just a minimal reading of what I'm hearing from you, and I can say the same thing about myself. When I way back in the 70s, when I left a very comfortable position as a teacher and so on, to not only take on a new job, but to move from Michigan, where I lived, to go to New York. And everyone said to me, "How could you do this? And you can teach right here at the university. Plus, you can work at the school you've worked at before. You've got tenure. You've got all of this." And it's like, and I kept thinking, but it's New York, And it was like, the song, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere, kind of thing, Yeah. And nobody understood that inside of me, but there was something exciting about getting there, and then after I was there for 6 or 7 years, there was another calling. And I made tenure there. I was a professor. I had everything guaranteed. I had a lifetime job guaranteed for the rest of my life. But there was something about, I had written this book called Erroneous Zones, and the mystery of being on my own and getting out there and trying it and doing it. There's just something very exciting about that. It's part of the creative process. It's about it's like the Tao. It's like living, living the mystery rather than staying with the familiar. An enlightened person doesn't want credit for anything. It's like we do what we do. We're all on the same team when we're out there serving and making the world a better place. And I need no credit for anything that I've ever said. And most of the things that I've said, I've learned from someplace else anyway. Yeah, I think all of that stuff is just, it's the kind of stuff, and excuses be gone, it's the kind of stuff that we use to keep us back, from trying out new things and from experimenting and, to making a new impact in our lives. And it's that little bit, that fear is really nothing more than thoughts that say, I might fail. And if I failed, and if this didn't work, and if I don't make as much money, wouldn't that be, and you fill in the blanks, wouldn't that be terrible? Wouldn't it be awful? Somebody, would disapprove of me and so on. But when you're a free-thinking person like yourself, and there's an exciting challenge that's out there, I always have said, you never regret what you do. You only regret what you don't do. You will never regret doing this, but you will always regret it if you don't. I can remember that same feeling when I left Michigan and went to New York to live in New York, all by myself, just to go off there and get a house and take up a position as a professor in a university in the largest city in the United States. I knew that there was a lot of risk involved with it and so on, but I also knew that if I didn't do it, I would regret it forever. You know where I learned that? I learned that at my high school reunion, in my 30th high school reunion. I've told this story in the air of I was dancing with Janice Nelson, who was the prettiest girl in the school when I was in high school. 30 years later, I'm dancing with her, and I was telling her how I always wanted to go out with her, and I just thought she was so beautiful, and I just thought for sure that she would never always reject me, so I never had the courage to I even called her number a couple of times, and she answered, and I hung up the phone because I was too scared to ask her, and she said to me while we were dancing, she said, "Oh, I always was attracted to you. I really wish you would have called me. I would have loved to have gone out." And I said, "Oh, my God, I can't believe it. You'd only regret what you do. You'd never, if I would have done it, you'd only regret what you don't do." 30 years later, I'm still full of regret I didn't ask her out when we were in high school.
Oh, there's a good lesson there for sure.
Right.